Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast. This is episode 14. I am your host, Jacob Rice.
And I'm Jarrod. How you doing?
You're really bad at these intros lately. I don't know what you're doing.
I was like mid-yawn. I'm like, I'm Jarrod.
Yeah, Jarrod. Yeah.
Sorry, I'll do that again. I'm like, hey, how you going? I'm Jarrod.
He was just practicing for, he's been recast as in The Goonies. Just 3 guesses which character he is.
No, which one you think I'm? Chuck? Is it the fat kid?
It's not the fat kid. It's the retarded disabled one.
We can't say that, can we?
I mean, I did.
Gonna have to bleep that
No,
out.
we're not.
Fine.
There's a good 5-minute segment on the last podcast where we just ripped into vegans.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
Well, that's we can do that.
Yeah, because vegans are bad people. We're doing this again.
We're doing it again. We're not even a minute in.
Now we're a minute in. Vegans suck. Oh god, it's gonna be one of those days, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So we saw a couple of movies this week.
Yeah.
Reviews are out.
One's
They are out. No, they're both out. They're Brightburn and Aladdin.
Yes.
So I think we'll start with those, and then we'll go into a little bit of stuff that's coming out and what's coming soon. And obviously, the next month is big month for movies, big month for games, and then big month for just us personally. So
yeah. Okay.
it's going to be huge. We saw Brightburn first. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. I didn't mind it. It was definitely... I think we may have overhyped it for ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, I like superhero movies. And don't get me wrong, I think this movie is very clever. But executed... But was it executed well? Probably not. I thought it had no substance. I thought the movie didn't really have much of a substance to it. I felt like the movie was also kind of... It didn't really know where it wanted to go with the character. I didn't know if he was going to be that sort of creepy or this sort of creepy. And I didn't know... it was very obvious. They were very much they were very much on the subject of he is evil Superman.
Yeah, they really lent into that straight away. There was no, and which is probably the right way to do that because there was no real way around it.
Yeah.
I just feel like there were a few plot points that were added early on that just didn't pay off. So you have the thing with the girl's mother, and then she just sort of shows up at the end for 10 seconds as a corpse, and you're like, it doesn't explain why he hid that but didn't hide anything else.
Yeah.
And then they go really into how he's super intelligent and he's very clever and he's really, but they don't use that as at all.
They kind of touch on, but the thing they kind of touch on his powers a little bit, his minor powers. Obviously he's smart.
Yeah.
And he has all the abilities of Superman, but they don't really touch on it very much. And I'm assuming they kind of they expect everybody to know the origins of Superman. It's he crashed in a barn, and then he was found by farmers, and he was brought up to be the A-class American, and he stood for the American dream. But obviously this is flipped upside down on its head.
Yeah, I it's a bit weird how they made him a bad guy, because it's not he took a turn for the worse. He realized he had superpowers and he was I'm gonna use this to get back at all the people who bullied me. He was just manipulated by a spaceship.
Yeah. Is that spoiler?
Not really.
Not
it happens
really.
in the first 20 minutes.
Also, majority of the stuff is in the trailer.
Yeah, all of the good stuff's in the trailer.
All the good stuff is in the trailer. Don't get me wrong, there are some really intense moments in the film, but they're you can see them coming, and there's not really much in this movie that I thought that was new to me. I do if the kid itself, the actor who played evil Superman,
did a really good job. Thanks for doing that again.
Pardon?
Thanks for doing that again.
Doing what again?
I don't know who played that guy, but
I'm not asking you to look it up. I don't even know his name.
I'm not going to.
But he did a really good job as playing a creepy kid.
Yeah.
But
no,
there
he
were
did.
some parts that he was didn't come across as creepy. He just came across as arrogant.
Yeah.
But then again, if they made a movie like that, they're basically but you're right. They kind of there was no tipping over point. It was like, or maybe because even in the Man of Steel, because when he cuts back to his childhood, he was bullied and all that kind of stuff. Like he was bullied, and like so there were points that could have turned him
where he's just gone, oh, I've had enough. I'm just going to go after this guy. Yeah, but
there
they
was
just don't do
nothing
that.
like that in this. In this, there was just like 1 minute he's good, the next minute
The
he's
spaceship
evil.
is like, oh, actually, you're better than everyone else. You should take over the planet. You're
Yeah.
like, well, what was the point of that?
Yeah, like you don't really care for the character. You don't really
It's not so much a character development as it's just a character jump.
pretty much. And like the reason why I'm going to assume the reason why we went to go see this movie was because of the gimmick. It was like if Superman was evil.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to see the character progression of why he was evil.
Yeah, there needed to be a reason why that turn happened,
Yeah.
but there wasn't.
There was just like I felt like there was a lot of just easy. It felt like there were ways that this movie could have actually done a little bit better, but they kind of took the easy way out with it without actually writing too much of a decent plot.
Yeah, I mean, the full review is out now. I think you gave it 3.5 stars.
I gave it 3.5 stars. You wanted to give it 3.
I wanted to give it 3, but at the end of the day, it was.
The
you
end of the
wrote
day, like there
review,
were
that's-
some bits in it that I liked, but there were bits in it that I didn't like as well.
Yeah,
I did like there were some visuals in there that were creepy to me.
and there were some visuals that
Just
were
did-
poorly executed.
Yeah, they were. Yeah,
That bit at the end.
the bit at the end.
Yeah.
You could tell the budget ran out.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, I'm sure nobody will notice. But that's fine. So from a movie that we overhyped and didn't enjoy so much,
Yeah.
to a movie that we were not so sure about and ended up really enjoying.
Yeah.
So Aladdin,
Yeah.
the live-action remake that nobody asked for, another one.
Another one.
See, the thing is, right, before we go into like the Aladdin movie itself,
Yeah.
every time Disney announces a live-action remake of a classic animated movie, the entire internet goes, oh, but we didn't ask for that, why are they doing it? And then it comes out and we go, actually, that was really good. And then they announce another one, and we go, why are they doing that? We didn't ask. Look, there is a reason
Yeah.
that they are doing it. I think I know what that reason is, which we will delve into at the end.
Yeah.
But, like, it worked.
Yeah. I think it worked.
It added bits, it filled in some plot holes.
I mean,
There were some
there-
there's some bits that were a bit much.
yeah.
Demon Parrot.
Demon Parrot.
Could have done without a Demon Parrot. Didn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
Yeah. But
Um,
also, like, I'm gonna kind of touch on this. I didn't really like. I do prefer the original. I prefer the original because I grew up on that. But also in the original, with the Cave of Wonders,
Yeah.
yeah. Like you see, like where they have to what they actually have to do to get the cave to show itself. Like they actually have to present something
With the beetle, yeah.
with the beetle, and then like they have to present someone who they think is the diamond in the rough, and if the cave accepts it. So, but like in this, the cave is just there,
And it just won't let you in.
it just
if-
without the diamond in the rough.
Yeah. Which, yeah, I see, but then I feel like if you have that bit with the beetle, you then have to explain how we got that bit
beetle.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it does. It cuts
movie-
some stuff to fill in other plot holes. if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
the movie does kind of. It does need you to have watched the original to be like, oh, okay, so we're just starting from here. That's what I
it
felt.
does. It does and it doesn't. I don't know whether like, if you don't know that the original you needed the scarab beetle that splits into and becomes the eyes of the Cave of Wonders, I don't think that's going to take away. Like you're not going to go, oh, how did this cave get here? You're just going to go, it's a magic cave.
Yeah.
So of course there's a magic cave there.
Yeah.
Like there's a big blue genie that comes out of a lamp like half an hour after that.
Yeah.
I don't think how did this cave get there is going to be a major question that you'd have.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is one of those you're like, but in the original that happened. Which, I mean, there's always going to be a problem with remakes.
Yeah, true. I mean, like, but that being said, I did enjoy it. I thought Will Smith was actually did a really good job.
Yeah, Will Smith
I thought that
had
he
the hardest job of anyone in that movie because Robin Williams was the quintessential genie, and everyone was just like, he'll never be replaced. And that remains true. Like, nobody will ever replace Robin Williams.
No.
That's iconic, and it always will be.
Yeah.
However, Will Smith did it differently enough that he made it his own character.
You know what? I just had the idea. What's his name? The guy who played Shazam, Brandon something. I can't remember his name, but I think he would. He has that charisma that he would have made a good genie. I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon he could have played a good genie.
The kid?
No, the guy who actually played Shazam.
Zachary Levi?
Zachary Levi. I don't know where I got Brandon from.
Brandon plays Billy Batson.
Right.
I think. Maybe.
I don't know. But I feel like he would have been a good candidate. They probably did. I have no idea if they did, but I feel like he would have been a choice because he has kind of like that charismatic.
Yeah, but I feel like his sense of humor is too similar to Robin Williams.
Yeah, true.
Like, if you're trying to exactly replicate it, yes, but I feel like changing it the way they did was the only way to go.
Yeah.
So that you're like, this is the genie, but it's not the genie.
Yeah.
From the original, which I like because like Will Smith does add like a certain level of charm.
Yeah.
And almost like sarcasm to a character that was mainly just like over the top, funny, and did more. Like, he doesn't really do the like celebrity impressions that Robin Williams did.
Yeah.
He does like different parts of comedy. He beatboxes. Don't know why. That was the one thing I didn't really like about that. They added it into Is It Friend Like Me? And you were just like,
you don't need to do that.
Yeah, I know it's 2019, but not everything needs to be hip-hop.
And then there was a dance scene that kind of went on for... I thought that went on for a little bit.
It did go on for a little while, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like that because it shows off that's just a skill that Mina Masood just has.
Yeah, true. But yeah, all right, yeah, fair enough.
Like, it did drag a little bit. Like, maybe that much was unnecessary, but you know, it was good. Yeah, no, it was good. Will Smith did a good job. Naomi Scott as Jasmine did a fantastic job.
Yeah, she was brilliant. I do like the fact that they kind of gave Jasmine's character more of a empowering woman's role.
Yeah,
yeah,
I do.
Not a huge fan of her song that they. Not a huge fan of the song that
it's
they. It's
not the best song in there, but the point of it.
Yeah.
Almost makes up for it.
Yeah, which is I do like how they not changed her character, but they gave her character more of like a talking point. You know what I mean?
They made her a character, not just a damsel that needed saving. Yeah. Which while we're on this subject, then I think is maybe not the main point, but really what quite a lot of these remakes are trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Is there is a certain level they've aged quite poorly. To put it kindly, like if you go back and watch them, some of them are the stories and like the way it looks and sounds and is performed and all that is fine.
Yeah.
The way some characters are treated, have aged quite badly. They recently did Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And I mean the joke's been made for 20 odd years, pretty much since the animated cartoon was released, that Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah.
Because there is no other reason given for her to and in the remake they made her like a strong character.
Yeah.
And like obviously a lot of people are going to go, it's political correctness. I don't think it is. I think it's rounding out otherwise pointlessly underused characters.
Yeah. Yeah. And also like in the original one, if we're talking about Beauty and the Beast, in the original one she kind of not gives in completely. It's like, well, I'm here now, might as well get used to it. In the remake, she kind of actually
tries to escape
she tries to fight back and all that kind of stuff, and yeah. But I think you're right. Not to the point where it's like political correctness. More like they're just they're redoing a movie and they're making it for
a modern audience.
For a modern audience.
Yeah.
They're modernizing something that was made like 30 years, like more than 30 years ago.
Yeah, so there's things like
Is that right? Is that a right calculation?
No, roughly be about 30 years
30
or some of
years,
them.
yeah.
I'd be interested to see how they change the Lion King. That's coming up. I know they've released the posters and stuff now. I think it comes out July.
Yeah.
So we're like a month and a half away.
There has to.
But obviously there will be changes. I know they've added a couple of songs, but I don't know how. That's a pretty well-rounded movie. I mean, it's
I still watch
it's
that
a
now.
Shakespeare adaptation. Like
Yeah.
there was nothing wrong with the original story. So I'm wondering whether or not they're just going to extend it rather than change it.
I mean, but you also got to think like the other reason why that they're remaking all these movies, it has to be for the fact that like most kids or most people want to see these movies remade, or a lot of kids are watching these movies like they remade Cinderella, they remade Beauty and the Beast,
Sleeping
Aladdin,
Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty.
Well, they called it Maleficent,
They
but
call
yeah,
it Maleficent,
which is getting a sequel. I don't understand why.
it just is. And then like they redid Snow White, sort of. They didn't give it. They didn't they rebooted it, but it wasn't Snow White. It was kind of like it was Snow White and the Huntsman.
It was garbage.
It was garbage, but they're like the kids now. They're watching those things, but that's the way they're watching them. They're not watching the cartoons. They're watching the live action adaptations of it. Like, there'll be a lot of kids now who will be watching The Lion King as a live like a remade live adaptation of The Lion King.
Yeah, it's interesting to be where we are. Like, obviously, we're quite young. You know, I'm 24. You're 21.
Yeah.
So it's interesting watching it now because now it's our turn. It's like it's our childhood that is getting turned into live action remakes. Whereas, like when we were young and like movies coming out and they were being remade and stuff, it was movies that like our parents were watching and stuff that were being remade for. Yeah. Now, there's things like 21 Jump Street was a TV show that got made into a movie. There's like Get Smart, which was another TV show got made into a movie.
Yeah.
And like some of them to varying degrees of success, but now we're experiencing the same thing. We're seeing things that we used to watch all the time become like adapted for like the current, like the modern era. And it's interesting to watch because some of them are working, some of them aren't working, and that's always going to happen.
And those two examples are actually good examples because like you're going to have people who have seen the originals and want to watch it and want to watch a remake, but I think like the big reason why Disney got so much backlash for. Did they get a lot of backlash when they announced that they were going to be remaking a lot of these movies?
Aladdin, they did. They got a lot. Lion King, not so much, but I feel like that one was so popular that they could have done pretty much whatever they wanted, and it would have been.
Lion King was one of those movies that was so popular that they made. Did they make 2 or 3?
They made 2 sequels and a TV show about it.
Yeah.
So and a stage show.
And a stage show. Never saw the stage show.
It's pretty good. It's fantastic.
It's pretty good. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So it's interesting that like this is happening and like it's going to keep happening. Like there have been things that have been announced that are remakes of stuff.
But even the originals, they were remakes. Like before they were cartoons, they were books.
Yeah, from like the 1800s.
Yeah, like Cinderella.
It's not new stuff.
Yeah, like Cinderella. That like I don't know if I've never read the I've never actually read the original story of Cinderella, but it's really dark.
Yeah, the Grimm brothers original. There's some really horrible stuff in those fairy tales.
Yeah, even like Beauty and the Beast, the original book of that's a really dark story.
Yeah, like most of them I think you find have like a relatively dark ending. Cinderella's got pretty horrible ending. Like
the evil stepsisters, their eyes get eaten by crows.
Yeah, and they cut chunks off their feet so they fit in the slippers and stuff. It's pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
But like there are other remakes coming. Like Lord of the Rings is being remade into a TV show. Like,
is it?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It got picked up by Amazon. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, that's it. But that's the same thing, isn't it? Yeah. It's like that was.
But I'm not saying straight out. It's like I hate that. I'm saying like.
But you're like that was 15 years ago. Like that's a long time ago.
Wait, they said that 15 years.
No,
ago?
Like the original Lord of the Rings was finished in 2004, 2005. Yeah. Like it was 15 odd years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's getting remade, and you're like, well, that's like the fantasy genre that I grew up with. Like.
Speaking of that, Speaking of Lord of the Rings, Tolkien.
Tolkien comes out soon
I'm really looking forward to that.
on the 13th of June.
Yeah. Sorry, I
Bet
don't.
you're glad I wrote all that down earlier, aren't you?
Sorry, I don't know why I keep doing that.
No, that's fine. Because I wrote down everything that comes out this month before we started. Yeah.
But
That's
like,
right, I'm prepared for your sneaky tactics.
Well, I'm really looking forward to that movie because I didn't realize the actual story, like that Tolkien went. I didn't realize that Lord of the Rings was based off Tolkien's war experience.
It's...
Vaguely based off his war experience.
Okay, so there's a misconception there. This is where the entire world finds out I'm a massive Tolkien nerd.
Yeah.
So a lot of people go out and they'll say that Lord of the Rings was a metaphor. It was based off like the World War, I think one.
One.
World War One. That like
Yeah.
Tolkien fought in World War One, which is.
Don't get me talking about the world wars because I'll go on for ages.
No, that's fine. The last thing we should be talking about is any world war with my sense of humor around. So everyone goes, "Oh, Tolkien wrote about the World War, like he used that." I was like, it wasn't, because he'd started writing it before the war started.
Yeah.
So obviously, because he'd been through that, a lot of stuff got pulled from it, like feelings and emotions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He has actually come out and said, obviously not recently, because he's been dead for almost as long as I've been alive, I'm pretty sure. But he came out in an interview and just went, it's not a World War One. It's not a war thing. It was a fantasy movie that when he wrote battles and wars and like how people were feeling afterwards, he had experience and that's what he drew from.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like this Tolkien follows like that story.
Yeah.
Like him going to war and him writing the books and
all
like
that
how
kind
he
of
did
stuff.
all that.
Yeah.
Because he was a language professor at Cambridge or something.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And like he in the trailers for the new Tolkien movie, like he said like I've written a language for my book. I've written a language for my book or something like that.
Yeah, he invented almost like a complete language with like grammar rules and all that.
Yeah.
Like
what was it like?
Elvish.
Yeah. He
Well,
created Elvish.
there were a few because there are like 3 or 4 languages that get used regularly in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, there's Elvish,
And
Orcish, and
Elvish, Orcish, Dwarvish, and Blacktongue, and they use. But Elvish was the only one he wrote like a full, basically a full like
alphabet.
dictionary and
Yeah.
alphabet and all that stuff for, which is incredible.
And now heaps of people have done it. Like Star Wars have done it. Star Wars have written
With basic.
a basic one.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's called basic, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, pretty sure it's called basic.
Shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah. But we're delving into like down a deep, dark rabbit hole.
Yeah, true.
So I'm gonna pull us out of that one quickly.
Yeah. I don't know
Um,
how we can make a segue out of that.
There's not going to be a segue.
There's no segue.
There's been
We're
a
just
bunch
gonna
of
turn
trailers for stuff released this week that I want to talk about, and then I want to talk about the month coming up.
Okay.
Because it's huge for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was last night or yesterday morning. The Rambo Last Blood trailer was released.
I was gonna talk.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, I have.
How good does it look?
It looks cool. It looks really cool, but you gotta think to yourself, like this guy must he must go out and look for it at this point. Like, he must have like the worst luck in the world. He just can't get away from it.
From the trailer, it makes it look like
He's-
someone he's dealt with before,
Yeah,
and they're coming for him.
but you know what? I think in this one, I predict he's gonna die. He's gonna die.
The way the trailer was shot and the fact that it's called Last Blood
Yeah,
makes me think that he probably will die in some sort of blaze of glory. But like the way it looks in the trailer is like Home Alone,
like
R-rated, like
Home Alone.
violent Home Alone. Like Home Alone meets John Wick.
Yeah.
Like it just looks, and it looks incredible.
Yeah,
Like when I found out they were doing one more Rambo movie, I went, I don't think I want to see that.
yeah,
I think it's over.
yeah.
Now the trailer's out. Yeah, go for it.
I mean, did you watch the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it just called Rambo?
It was
wasn't
just called Rambo.
Yeah, great film.
That one was really cool.
But that was a
really-
long time ago.
That was
That was like 5, 6, 7 years ago. Like it was a long time ago.
yeah.
Like for movies, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But like I love that one. That one's my favorite. Like he makes like a makeshift blade and all that kind of stuff. Like there's an MA version and then there's an R version. In the R version, like in the MA version, you still see it. The scene's still in there where he rips out someone's throat.
Yeah, it's
but
just the R-rated one. It's
they
not.
actually show you.
Yeah.
They actually show you him ripping out his throat, and I watched the R-rated version because that's the only way you can watch a Rambo movie. Because the Rambo movie is about violence. It is.
It
about
is.
action.
Yeah, it's righteous violence, isn't it? Which
It's
is a
righteous
weird
violence.
way of putting that.
Yeah,
But you know, there's a.
it's movies, so
It's movies, yeah.
yeah, true.
There's also been a few gaming trailers released this week. We watched this morning the Mortal Kombat 11 announcement for DLC.
Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
I know he's one of your favorite characters.
He's one of my favorite.
Definitely one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
They made him look really good. Like the fighting style looks pretty easy to use.
He was a character. Have you played have you gone to the crypt yet?
Yes.
You have. He is a character in the crypt, that you don't unlock, but he's the one who's like, "Welcome to the crypt," because it's on his island. So
Yeah.
it would make sense. But I had a feeling that they were going to bring out Shang Tsung at some point.
It would be silly not to, and they did announce a bunch of other characters, like a few superhero ones, like Spawn and
Spawn.
I think they announced Nightwolf and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, and 2 more to be announced.
Yeah.
Which could be literally anything. Could
Wait.
be Rambo for a winner.
It could be Rambo, but I think because we were talking about it before, I think they are going to stay superhero. But I think that might be the theme of this one, is superhero.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
there's been like
anti-hero.
a superhero or horror movie one in almost everything so far. Because I
Yeah.
think the last one it was
It was horror.
like Freddy and
The one before that, it was
is it Jason and Alien and stuff like that.
in 9. I think 9 they were kind of like, I don't think they were very sure because it was really all over the place in the DLC. It was Freddy Krueger, and then you could, but that was, I think that was both Xbox and PlayStation, but only on PlayStation you could get Kratos.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, which made no sense to me. If you could unlock them, why not just do it for both?
I think because Kratos is a PlayStation exclusive character,
Yeah, maybe.
so that would make sense. Like PlayStation go, well, you can use him, but only for our console,
Yeah, true.
which happens quite a lot, really. Obviously, a few other. There was more. We watched Modern Warfare trailer this
Yep.
afternoon,
Yep.
which looks great.
It does.
Which
and
makes 2 for 2 first-person army shooters that have been
what's the one that you're excited for?
Ghost Recon
Ghost
Breakpoint.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just excited.
you excited for the return of Modern Warfare? Because like that's
was my favorite.
that
one.
is the pinnacle of Call of Duty.
Yeah, like that is Call of Duty that everybody enjoys playing. Like when you think of like online Call of Duty, like you think of, I think of Rust. Like when you
Yeah,
think of Rust, like
1v1 me.
1v1. It's like you have an argument at school or something like that. It's like fight me in Rust. 1v1 in Rust or something like that.
Yeah,
I used to play it all the time. It was hilarious. It's a small map and everybody just gangs up on each other, and also, like Modern Warfare 2 and World at War, because World at War had zombies. Like that was the
Yeah.
birth of zombies, and I used to be really scared of that. I used to be terrified of.
it
playing
is pretty
zombies.
terrifying. Have you played the World War II zombie maps?
No,
That sucks, man.
that
Like no,
sucks.
okay, so from a gameplay standpoint, it's great. Like the maps are great. It's like really hard. It's challenging. It's all this stuff.
Yeah.
From somebody who doesn't want to be terrified the entire time they play games, fucking sucks.
Oh, you know what I actually really want to start doing? It's like I really want to start playing like scary games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, because I saw a thing the other day and it made me feel kind of old. Because Outlast, remember Outlast?
Yes.
It's 5 years old. That game
Yeah,
is 5
Outlast
years old.
was it Outlast 2 came out last year before,
Yeah, I think so.
and that game just god damn it!
It's
I
so-
still have nightmares.
it's
You know I'm
really
not sleeping tonight. Just the thought of that game.
But like it's like all those games like Outlast and even Slenderman at
Yeah.
one point. I to this day still can't play that game. Or to be fair, I think I might actually still have it on my computer on my desktop, like at somewhere. It's like in one of my files somewhere. If I can find it, I might go and play it. But man, that game was such a simple concept, but it was so scary when Slenderman was a thing.
Yeah, that was a while ago, and then the
Yeah.
movie ruined it.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you ever see that?
yes,
Yeah.
crap.
It is.
You ever play Silent Hill?
No,
You'd never play Silent
I've
Hill.
never played it. I've never
Silent
even seen
Hill
the
is
movie.
It's more psychological horror. It's almost like the original. It's almost like there were two Silent Hills.
Was it an arcade game?
No.
No?
It was one of the first PS1. Like it was like one of the first real horror games.
Yeah.
So there's like it's split into like two worlds. There's like the misty sort of Silent Hill where everything's kind of creepy and
Yeah.
weird, but like nothing really happens. And then there's like you go into another area and you get like the demonic Silent Hill where there's like monsters and creepy shit that you got to run from.
Yeah.
From the genius mind of Hideo Kojima, who has
Yeah. Oh.
just released an 8-minute trailer for Death Stranding.
Yes.
I've watched it. I know you haven't. But then I've been following this slightly closer than anybody should. So I've watched every single piece of information that has dropped for Death Stranding since its announcement at E3. I'm going to say 2 years ago.
And do you know what it's about?
No idea. The new 8-minute sort of interview trailer gameplay thing does shed some light on like what you'll be able to do. Like it almost looks like complete traversal.
Yeah.
Like there's things where you get to like a ladder at and it just extends, like as long as you need it to.
Yeah.
And he just drops it on top of like a cliff and you can just walk up it, and you can like you can put like a rappel hook anyway, and you can just like hop down mountains. So it's like it's completely like it looks like there is nowhere in the map that you can't get to.
Yeah.
Which looks like that's fantastic. There's like they added like a motorcycle in the trailer.
Okay.
And like they introduced a few characters and stuff, and I still have no idea what the point is. And do you know what? I love it. This is like the first time in years where I can go into a game.
Yeah. And actually be intrigued.
Whatever
by
my
the story.
reaction to that game is will be the true reaction, because I have no expectation. Like I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like nobody does. Like there is no
I mean,
idea.
From what I saw, because I watched the thing on it. The first thing I noticed was, it's the guy from Walking Dead. It's
Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus, and he's like in an abandoned building, and he's like, you can't get out of there. It's like, I got an idea, and he attaches a fetus to his chest, and it has a light, and it blinks, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean
And there's,
nobody does, and
and
that's
there's, like,
kind of what's great about it.
And there's like floating shadow demons with like umbilical cords as tails. I don't know. It doesn't. It just. I don't know.
Yeah, I know nobody does, and that's why it's like you're like that looks interesting. I wonder what the hell that is.
Yeah.
Which,
I am interested. I will play it, but I have no idea what it's about.
yeah, I think even maybe we might do a let's play, do like a full playthrough of it. It seems like the kind of game that we would do stuff like that for.
Yeah, true. Also, when does it come out?
It comes out end of November,
End of November. Okay, cool.
so we have plenty of time to finish Borderlands 3 before then.
Nice. When does that come out?
September 13th.
Nice. Okay. I'm asking you all of these questions, and
Knowing full well I haven't written them down. So
it's a bad habit I have, and I can't shake it.
no, that's fine. It's okay because I am on the ball today.
You are. You are.
So with that all being said, the next month is just a all round, just a logistical, journalistic nightmare.
Yeah.
It's also my favorite time of year. It's it's like it's
non-journalistically talking, it is probably the
even
best.
journalistically speaking, like it's a lot of work, but like I love it.
It's the kind of work.
It is.
It's
It's Nerd Christmas.
It's Christmas.
It is Nerd Christmas. It's So we've got all of the movies being released. Here, I've got the release dates. We just saw like last week. Obviously, well, this week was Brightburn and Aladdin. Next week we've got Asterix and the Magic Potion,
Asterix and the
which is an
Magic Potion.
adaptation from an old cartoon. Like some people remember it, some people won't.
Right.
Godzilla,
Yep.
Rocket Man.
Seen it.
The week after is X-Men Dark Phoenix, which I remain cautiously optimistic for.
I mean, I'll watch it, but I don't know.
It's my favorite X-Men comic book arc,
Yeah.
so I hope they don't stuff it up like they've stuffed up everything else for the last 20 years.
If it's better than Last Stand or Apocalypse, then they're doing pretty well.
Well, setting it pretty low.
Yeah.
And then, so we got that, and then the week starting the 13th of June is where our lives are destroyed. So we've got Men in Black, which I know we're both pretty looking forward to. It looks kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like a spin-off rather than a direct sequel, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
I think it's Men in Black International, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then that same week, Tolkien is released.
Yeah.
That is also the week of E3.
Oh man, just talking about it is like, oh, there's so much work to do.
Which I know, that's the words E3 at the moment just automatically add this giant pit to your stomach. So to wrap up the rest of the movies, the last 2 weeks of June, we've got Child's Play.
I forgot about that.
Which looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Secret Life of Pets, which is probably going to suck. But we have to do family movies as well.
Oh, yeah, true.
And Spider-Man, which I know full well we're both massive Spider-Man
I like
fans, and
how
I'm really looking
Spider-Man-
forward to that.
I love how Spider-Man is like, to finish it off, it's like,
Like, the end of June is Spider-Man, which is like
yeah.
one of the best Marvel characters ever created.
yeah.
So I've got the E3 is huge. So I have saved everyone trouble of trying to work out when they are US time and trying to convert them to American to Australian Eastern Standard Time, because I already did it. So the 10th of June,
Yeah.
we've got Microsoft and Bethesda.
Yeah.
Microsoft is at 6 a.m.
Oh boy.
and allegedly that is going to be a 2-hour conference.
Oh my
Bethesda is at 10:30 a.m.
god.
That apparently is going to be the usual like hour and a half
Yeah.
like thing. I think so. Microsoft, I assume we're getting next gen, whatever the next Xbox is. That's going to be announced. I assume. I don't know. It's all speculation. There'll be more stuff on Halo. I can almost guarantee that.
Like Halo
Every
Infinite.
yeah,
Yeah.
everything else, I don't know. Bethesda could be literally anything, though I do assume we're getting a title and another trailer for the next Elder Scrolls game, because we got that teaser trailer last year.
Yeah.
That was also in our E3 wish list, which I've put the top 5 things that we wanted from
Yeah.
E3. Go check it out on the blog.
Yeah.
The 11th, the next day, we've got Ubisoft at 6 a.m, so I assume we're getting more Assassin's Creed stuff because it's Ubisoft. There'll be a few other things, I hope. I imagine there'll be at least one surprise at everything.
Yeah.
Square Enix is at 11 a.m. that same day.
Square Enix.
So they did games like... it's gone from my head.
Sorry.
No. I should have written it down. They do. What's the name? Is it
Are they like a big-
Crisis?
Did they? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
played a
and they
little
do
bit of
they do
Crysis.
games like that. There's a few other games. They dabble in like lots of different genres. So,
Yeah.
but they've got their thing. I
Yeah.
think they're doing. I think they've got something to do with Cyberpunk 2077 as well.
Okay.
Which I'm very keen for, because they did The Witcher 3 and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the 12th is the Nintendo one, and that's at 2 a.m. Obviously, I'll be watching it because we'll. So for all of that stuff, even if we don't watch it at the time, we will be watching all of the press conferences, which is like 8 hours of content.
Yeah, but if you need someone to do it with you, I'll more than happily do
Yeah,
it.
so I think like we'll be watching it, and then we're gonna do that week. We're gonna do a big E3 chat,
Yeah.
and we're gonna talk about some stuff we saw, like our favorite moments, and there might be even like a couple articles on like. It's hard to say what is definitely gonna come out because we don't know what's gonna be announced, so we can't tell you what we're gonna write about. But there'll be a lot of content coming out over the sort of next 3-4 weeks.
Oh,
Which is great, like it's fantastic.
it's great for you guys, but it's going to be hell for us.
And it's going to be a very exciting time because
yeah.
we're going to find out. I have a feeling we're going to find out a lot about, like the coming console generation and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I have it written down here as well. I think the week before E3, or the week of E3, we are getting an EA Play.
Okay.
So they won't be at the actual conference.
Yeah.
But EA is going to do a big announcement, so I think we'll get things like I think we're going to get a gameplay trailer for Jedi Fallen Order.
Yep.
Because that's got a release date of like November as well.
Okay.
So that comes out really soon. So I assume we're going to get some gameplay for that.
I would
and
very much.
I imagine we'll get a few other things, like they're involved in most of like the sport games, like Madden and all that stuff.
Yeah, true.
So I imagine all that stuff will be released at some point around there. I don't know what the date is yet because it hasn't been announced. We're getting a state of play from Sony. That will. I can't see a world where that state of play isn't the announcement of PS5.
Yeah.
Like, they announced all their specs. They had that, the hardware demonstration with Spider-Man.
Yep.
Where they loaded it onto PS4, and it took 8.5 seconds, or just under 9 seconds, I think it was at the end.
Okay.
By the time they did it, so they loaded the full map in 8.85 seconds, I think it was. Which is still incredibly quick. Yeah. And then they loaded it onto the PS5, and it took 0.5 seconds, or 0.8 seconds, which is ridiculously quick.
Yeah.
So if they're announcing stuff like that, it's got to be...
Yeah.
It's got to be PS5.
Yeah.
And then there'll be things like, we'll get a release date for Last of Us. We'll get a release date for basically all that stuff. I imagine we'll find out what's going to happen with things like God of War and the sequel to Spider-Man, and a few PSVR related things I know as well.
With the sequel for Spider-Man, sorry to kind of go off track a little bit. I've been thinking about that. Like, I really want them to do. I don't know what kind of storyline that they're going to do. Like, they did the Sinister Six storyline.
Yeah.
I would really like to see, like Norman Osborn or like the Green Goblin or something.
I think the next one will be Green Goblin.
I hope so, because that would be awesome. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's fine. The way I see it, I would say, Green Goblin will have to be the next one.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do about that. It looked almost like they were going to do a Venom-style one as well, so we'll see that. That was the other thing Square Enix said. I think it was Square Enix. There was a thing saying that they're announcing the Avengers game.
Ooh.
Or an Avengers game, which is insanely huge.
Yeah.
I assume that'll be massively multiplayer and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We know very little about it. We only know that there is something going to be released for that.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
Yeah.
And then, like, there's all the Sony stuff. That's my phone. Because I literally told her not to do that. That's fine. That was my bad. I hope nobody heard that. Yeah. At least it was Star Wars. So yeah, there's all that stuff that's coming. So we'll work that out in the coming weeks. Yeah. Stay tuned for that. There'll be another live stream on Friday. I don't know what we're going to play yet.
Oh, yeah.
We did a live stream yesterday. It was Overcooked. It is on the YouTube channel. It was very fun for us. I hope it's as fun for you to.
Very, very
stressful.
Stressful, because for some reason I find it incredibly difficult to read from left to right, and I read from right to left. I don't know why, because I'm looking at we need 3 onions, but I'm looking at 3 tomatoes, and I give you 3 tomatoes, and then you start yelling at me, and then I start crying. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that's
getting
pretty
anxious just thinking about it now.
Yeah, it was good times. So yeah, that's just the rundown of what we're working on over the next few weeks. Obviously, the podcast will still be coming out every Saturday. Yes. The reviews and the articles will still be coming out as well. The reviews we watch them and as they're written. The articles are every Tuesday.
Yeah.
Podcast every Saturday, and we're trying to do a live stream every Friday. They may be earlier, they may be later. We still have actual jobs, which sucks. I think that's
actual jobs suck.
Yeah, and then obviously I think the week after E3 and stuff, we're moving in together.
Yes.
Not in a gay way.
That's okay.
Just so it'll be both of us and Tom, who you'll remember from the Marvel podcast and stuff like that, and a few live streams.
Yeah.
So that hopefully will mean that there'll be more content coming because there'll be less commuting, basically.
Yeah.
We'll be around.
Like, we got to the point where it's just like, this would work a lot better if we didn't have to travel so far.
Yeah, and hopefully that will mean that like there'll be more equipment coming in and like more stuff like that. So that's what we're working on over the next sort of 6 months.
Yeah.
We're going to be at Supernova.
Yes.
On the 22nd of June.
Yep.
I have to remember what month we were in. So we're definitely going to be at Supernova.
Yep.
We'll put it on all of our Facebook stuff.
Yep.
I don't know if any of you are going to be there. Feel free to send us a message. We'll meet up. We'll say hi. We'll do stupid crap because that's basically what we always do anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's it for this podcast.
Yeah.
Not much news happening. Movie of the week.
Yeah,
I did almost. I was getting to that. Movie of the week this week is. Drum roll while I try and remember what the movie of the week was. Godzilla,
Yay.
2013 version. Shut the hell up. Go and watch Godzilla. It's a great film. Ignore the fact that a certain famous person dies in the first 10 minutes, despite the fact that he was advertised for the entire movie.
Yeah.
And enjoy the fact that Kick-Ass is in it, because he's a kick-ass.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at ReviewByLich.
If you want to follow me, I'm at JarrodKiddo1.
You can find all of our blogs on the Facebook page,
Yes.
which is under Real Talk Pop Culture Discussions.
And
You can find all of our articles on there. You can follow us on Instagram at Real Talk _Pop Culture Discussions.
you can Google us. We're easy to Google now.
Yeah, you can Google us.
Yeah.
There is a website coming soon.
Yeah.
Which will have all of our stuff on it, so that's always very exciting.
Yeah.
And I always forget to do this. We're on YouTube now.
Yes.
Same thing, Real Talk Pop Culture Discussions. Look for that. And we are on Twitch. I have forgotten every single week to plug our Twitch channel. We are Real Talk PCD Gaming. So that's Real Talk PCD for Pop Culture Discussions Gaming.
Yeah.
All of our links go onto our Facebook thing. I think only onto Facebook at the moment.
Yeah.
If you don't make the live streams, that's fine. We are uploading them all to YouTube as well as all of the podcasts.
Yes.
So
you should watch them because they're funny and we're funny.
there you go. I've managed to get through all of the information, not go too far over time, and remember to plug our Twitch channel.
Nice. I'm proud of you. Progress. Progress.
Yeah.
Really wanted to
For
make that
future
joke.
reference, everyone should go and watch Hellsing Abridged unless they're under the age of
Who cares what age you are? Just go
23.
watch it.
because it's super inappropriate and it's on my Christmas list.
Read my Christmas list. Sorry.
And on the spurt of Hellsing Abridged quotes, as always, guys, keep it real.
Keep it real, guys. And always.